15:21 from Williams and Wells, and Coffey from Gretzky at 19:51. Craig MacTavish scoring the goal after being checked in the corner by Jay Wells. MacTavish, 14 of the Edmonton Oilers, hit by the Kings defenseman, then went right for the net. The puck was worked back on right point to Lee Fogelin, and Fogelin's shot was deflected in by Craig MacTavish. Dave Taylor gave the Kings the lead again on the power play. Wells originated the play from back on the left point. Wells wound up, took the shot. The save was made. The rebound poked at by Williams and then Dave Taylor, and Taylor muscled it into the net for his sixth. And then right off the draw at the end, the Kings had too many men on the ice. Oilers power play. Gretzky across to Coffey, top of the right circle, and he blasted one past Bob Janicek, his sixth of the season, and that's where we stand at 2 apiece. Mike Murphy is standing by downstairs. Mike, in that second period, not nearly the number of offensive chances for the LA Kings. You can't expect 25 shots, I guess, every period, but I thought the Kings did get some pretty good scoring opportunities.
Well, no question, Nick and Bob, we did get some chances, but we have to try to recapture the form we had in the first period, attack this team in all areas, pressure the puck, and hope that they'll turn it over. And if they do turn it over, we'll get the good opportunities that will result in goals.
Mike Murphy, the assistant coach of the Kings. As we take a look now at the statistics, we're tied up at 2. 36 shots through 2 periods to 19. The Kings with an edge. The face-offs, the Oilers have won 25 of 46, a little over half. A lot of penalty minutes tonight. 42 for the Kings, 52 for the Oilers. On the power play, the Kings 2 of 3. The Oilers are 1 of 3. So we have 4 total goals, Bob, in the game, and 3 of them on the power play. So again, we're seeing that the specialty teams are playing a factor. 2-2 the Kings with Janicek. The Oilers with Moog defend to our left. The Oilers will defend, that is, and we get set for the third period. And once again, Bob Miller.
All right, Nick, Brian Wilkes will take the faceoff out at center ice for the Kings against Mark Messier. Dion's on the right wing, McClellan on the left wing, Galley and Wells back. Oilers win the draw. Oilers moving left to right. The game tied 2-2. Here's Glenn Anderson at center ice. He gives it a low, chased by Brian Wilkes. Pass comes up to center ice now. Oilers with it. Pass over to Raymond Suominen, left wing. Suominen shoots, and it's wide and off the boards. Puck comes out to center ice. Chased down by Mark Messier. Third period just underway. Bob Miller with Nick Nixon, and the game all knotted up at 2-2. Puck is taken by the Oilers. The Oilers have never led in the game tonight. Kings had a 1-0 lead and a 2-1 lead. Pass up to center ice, broken up by Gary Galley. Galley's pass ahead, tips over to Dion, right wing, Oilers zone. Fogelin gets over. Dion with a shot. Easy blocker save made by Moog. Puck comes up to the blue line, held in by McClellan. Behind the net to Dion. Dion tried to pull it around in front, but Fogelin took it away. Fogelin for the Oilers gives it to Messier. Here's Mark Messier to the King line. Messier offside. Go the Oilers at the King blue line. 54 seconds gone here in the third period, and the Kings and the Oilers are tied at 2.
Well, we mentioned so many times when the Kings meet the Oilers, you've got to pick up the forwards at center ice. You can't let them get a full head of steam at center ice, because then they'll just waltz around your defensemen. And twice already here in the first minute, Suominen has had a lot of room. He went down the left wing, took a shot, and Messier had room through center. He worked the puck over the line, but unfortunately for the Oilers, they were offsides.
Puck taken by Craig Redmond back behind the King net. Redmond comes up the right side, but his pass deflected off of Mike Kruzhelnyski right back to Redmond. Now he passes up the middle to Sykes. Sykes gets it over to Bernie Nichols. Nichols trying to get it to Taylor on the right side. Nichols at center, Taylor on the right, and on the left wing is Phil Sykes. Now Engblom at center ice, sends it back down into the Edmonton zone. Back to get it, Paul Coffey. Coffey headmans it up to the blue line to Gretzky. Here comes Gretzky to the King line. Gretzky across the line, left side pass to Kruzhelnyski, and a save by Janicek. And he knocked Kruzhelnyski down. Janicek didn't sit back there, Nick. He came out to challenge Kruzhelnyski. Now the Kings come back. Here's Sykes down the left side into the Oilers zone. Sykes checked against the boards. The puck is knocked loose. Picked up by Taylor. Taylor tried to get it to Sykes. Tipped away. Taylor with it. Taylor, his pass in front. Broken up by Huddy. Huddy clears it off the boards out to center ice and out of the reach of Gretzky. Redmond back to get it in the King zone over to Engblom. Gretzky knocks Redmond down. Puck comes up in front of the King bench now. Picked up by Mike Kruzhelnyski. He sends it over on the left side. Oilers with it into the King zone. Pass over to Kruzhelnyski. Shooting wide to the left side as he got it from Coffey. Puck taken by the Kings, Paul Gay. Kings moving right to left. Here's Gay in the King zone. Cut off by Yari Curry. Now double teamed by Gretzky. Gay's pass around over in the left wing boards to Engblom. He sends it up the middle. Tiger Williams battles Hunter for it, and Williams beats Hunter to it. Here's Williams into the Oilers zone. He gives it on the right side to Paul Gay. Gay shoots and a save, and a rebound in the middle. Oilers. Lee Fogelin pulls down Tiger Williams. No interference. Left side, Dave Hunter shooting, and it's deflected by Kennedy for the Kings behind the net. Engblom picks it up. 2-2 tie. Third period. Engblom's pass up to the blue line. Now up to center to Doug Smith, and it just rolled off his stick into the Oilers zone. Here is assistant captain Lee Fogelin for the Oilers. Rolls it up to center, taken away by Paul Gay. Gay gives it back in the Kings zone to Dean Kennedy. Kennedy in LaPointe back. Now Gay's stick is broken as he bumped into Lumley. Puck is taken at center ice by McTavish for the Oilers. He sends it back behind the King net. 2-2 tie. 16:55 left to go in the game. Long pass comes off the boards into the Oilers zone, and Paul Coffey back to get it.
Lumley got an elbow and a high stick up on Gay, and I think it was Gay that broke his stick, but the referee didn't see that.
Now Coffey into the King zone. Loses it to Dion. Dion's pass broken up. Huddy in the King zone. Huddy shoots. Save Janusek. Rebound save Janusek on the rebound shot by Huddy. Puck taken by the Kings. Wilkes sends it up to Dion on the right wing. Dion's pass tipped away. Picked up by Brian Wilkes. Here's Wilkes into the Oilers zone. Wilkes over now to McClellan, but he couldn't get a good shot. He sent it wide. Puck is taken by Wilkes against the right wing boards. Dion gets knocked down in the slot. Puck is loose. Oilers pick it up, and it's taken away by McClellan. Oilers zone down the right side. McClellan into the corner with Coffey. McClellan still with it. McClellan still has it. Right wing boards. Jumps into the corner. Trying to get away from the referee now. Brian Lewis. McClellan up the middle to Wells at the blue line. He shoots. Saved by Moog. Off his blocker. Puck taken by the Kings again. Pass up the middle to McClellan. Tipped away. And being knocked down is Huddy, but he gets it up to center ice to Hunter. Now to McTavish. He's bumped hard. Kings with it. Here's Dion back into the other zone. He shoots, and a glove save by Moog. 2-2 tie. 15:39 to go in the game. Back come the Oilers. Wide open game. Mark Napier offside. Oilers. McTavish offside of the blue line. The game is tied at 2, and this is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Rise and shine, cast your line, catch the limit here. Now you're talking fishing, now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here.
Stroh's, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
Now you're talking Stroh's, now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here.
2-2 Oilers and the Kings. 40-22 the Kings have now outshot the Oilers. Things a bit wide open here in the first 4.5 minutes of period 3. The Oilers moving into that zone with a lot of speed.
Serge Savard of Montreal. Nick mentioning the great goaltending we're seeing tonight at both ends of the ice. Wayne Gretzky with it back in the Oilers zone. Passes along the boards, taken away by Phil Sykes. Sykes knocked down, gets it behind the net to Bernie Nichols. Nichols in the Oilers zone, can't hang on to it. Back come the Oilers. Up to center, here's Gretzky with that hunched over skating style. His pass on the right side to Napier, and deep pass in front to Semenko, and he didn't get it. Puck taken by the Kings. Nichols up to center. He gives it now to Redmond. Redmond into the Oilers zone. Taylor just did stay on. Redmond pass out to the left point. Engblom with it. Engblom shoots, safe, rebound, Nichols, score! Bernie Nichols got the rebound of Engblom's shot on the left side of the net and put it up under the crossbar. And the Kings lead again at 3-2.
Sykes and Nichols right there along with Taylor, and Nichols puts it in under the crossbar. Engblom with that shot. Moog another sensational save, but he just could not get back into position for the rebound. 6th goal of the season for Bernie Nichols.
Brian Engblom, and I would think Redmond, and that is it. Engblom and Redmond with the assist. Kings have never trailed in the game, and they lead again now at 3-2. Puck taken by Brian Wilkes in the Oilers zone. His pass in deep, broken up by Coffey. Coffey's long pass gets away from everybody. We're going to get icing against the Oilers as Wells hustles back. with 14:37 to go in the game, and the Kings lead 3-2.
Well, the Kings offensively doing a lot of things right. They're forcing the Oilers. They're forcing mistakes tonight. The defensemen are getting involved. We saw that the other night at Hartford when the defenseman picked up 9 points, and even goaltender Bob Janusek picked up an assist. Nichols from Engblom and Redmond at 5:04. And we mentioned, Bob, the veterans, a lot of them off the slow starts. But the 3 goals tonight, Dion, Taylor, and Nichols from your big guns.
Boy, do the Kings need them to put it into the net. Face off to the right of the goaltender Moog. Up the middle, Wells went to shoot but got checked, and the Oilers pick it up. Here's Lovely. His pass back on the right side to Remo Suominen. Wells poke checks it away, and then it's cleared to the blue line by Galley. And then the Oilers, Melnick holds it in. Suominen was knocked down inside the zone, way offside, when he got knocked down by Jay Wells. Well, I give Wells credit, Nick. Mentioned earlier at the Philadelphia airport Monday morning. I'll tell you, he was a sorry sight. He had the sunglasses on, stitches under his eye, 2 black eyes, swollen lip. Comes back out here tonight, and all the Kings playing their best game of the year so far.
Well, that's right, and the key has been they've played the same here in now the 3rd period than they did when they started the game. A solid 60 minutes is what you want, and the Kings so far are doing that.
3-2 Kings, 14:15 to go in the game. Here's Glenn Anderson across the line, and Messier offside on the right wing.
Well, again, the Edmonton Oilers with a lot of speed when they hit that Kings blue line, and what happens, the defensemen have to give up some ground. They have to back in their goaltender, and when the opponents get a shot, it's usually a quality shot from the top of the circles or in the slot. That's why the forwards have to do their job by bumping, playing some bodies, running some interference at center ice to slow them down, and that allows the defensemen to come up at the blue line and meet them and make their check, make their play.
Now the puck is in the King zone, right side. Pass in deep, and a shot scored by Glenn Anderson. How did he get that by Janusek? Larry Melnick gave Glenn Anderson the pass in deep on the right side, and he put it between Janusek's left arm and the goal post, and it looked like there was no room at all, and the game is tied 3-3.
Well, right there, the Kings a little mix-up as they went to play the puck. It was worked in deep, Melnick to Anderson, and Bobby Janusek just did not hug that near post tight enough, and he put it in off Janusek, and Glenn Anderson is off to a pretty good start. We mentioned in our interview with him, he has averaged 48 goals in the last 3 years. He is well out of that pace this year. His 12th goal, and this is 13th game. Glenn Anderson shooting from a steep angle, but he got it on net, and it went in.
Now the puck driven back behind the Oiler net. Game tied again for the 3rd time tonight. 3 times the Kings have led. 3 times the Oilers have come back to tie it. Glenn Anderson with a goal. Melnick should get the assist. Pass into the King zone, chased down by Gary Galley. Galley flips it off the boards, trying to get it to Gay. He couldn't hang on to it. It comes back to the Oiler line. Kevin Lowe feeds it over to Fogelin. Now to Lovely, and Lovely backhands it into the King zone. Behind the net, going forward is Galley. Gets it to Paul Gay. Gay on the right wing, pushes it up to center ice. Doug Smith with it. He shoots it into the Oiler zone. This line with Smith at center, Tiger Williams on the left, and Paul Gay on the right. For the Oilers, clear it back out to center. Taken by Engblom. He gives it now to Tiger Williams. Williams down across the other line. Right side, trying to get around low. Tiger cut off in the corner, still with it there. He's got Engblom up the middle. Tried to get it to him, just tipped away. And the Oilers come back. It was tipped away from Engblom by Dave Hunter. Hunter, his pass deflects off the skate of Doug Smith into the King zone, and back to get it behind the net is Engblom. He leaves it for the Kings, Craig Redmond. Redmond cut off by Gretzky. Redmond still with it, now passes up to center ice, and where to go? Right into the open door on the bench. So, with the game tied 3-3, we'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Playing hockey like a superstar calls for quick response, accurate assists, and hard shots. That's a winning performance. At Michelin, we've got a lineup of top performers for the vehicle you drive. Like the highly acclaimed XH for American cars, the MX series for imports, the XCH4 for light trucks, and our all-season radial, the XA4. Michelin makes only quality radials because so much is riding on your tires. Check the yellow pages for the Michelin dealer nearest you, and remember, buckle up for safety.
Play underway again. Puck is back in the Oilers zone. 12.5 minutes left to go in the game. Bob Miller with Nick Nixon. Kings and the Oilers are tied at 3. Here's Engblom at center. His pass taken away. Here is Paul Coffey in the King zone. Drop pass shot by Curry. Blocked. Curry again. Pass in front. Blocked and picked up by Sykes. Sykes trying to clear it against the boards. Had his stick held. Now the Oilers backhander in front by Curry and a save by Janusek. Puck is on the left side and a shot from there and a save by Janusek on the shot by Paul Coffey.
Well, Bob, tonight really Gretzky and Curry and Krujolniski have not been a big factor. Gretzky, coming into the period, has had 2 shots on goal. Jari Kurri has not been credited with any. They just have not moved the puck and had those good scoring opportunities like we're accustomed to seeing. Jari Kurri second only to Gretzky last year in goals. He had 71 in 73 games, averaging about a goal a game. He had 52 2 years ago. 6'1", 185, the 25-year-old Finn.
Oilers hold it in the King zone, but Rick LaPointe has it. LaPointe passes up the left wing side out to center ice. Taken there at the Oiler line by Lee Fogelin. Fogelin's pass knocked down by Nichols, and now Fogelin's pass in front of the King bench taken away by Rick LaPointe. He trying to get it to Nichols, but it comes all the way down into the Oilers zone. Chased down behind the net. Picked up now on the right side as the Kings hold it in. Taylor tried to get it to Nichols. It bounces up the middle. Loose puck. Oilers with it. They got a 3-on-3. Back they come. Here's Messier. Good skater down the right side against LaPointe. Messier pass in front right through the crease. Puck is picked up on the right wing side of the King zone by Nichols. Nichols up the center. Nichols gives it to Taylor. Taylor into the Oilers zone. Taylor drops it for Nichols. He's in front. He shoots and a save. Rebound. Nichols score! Bernie Nichols got stopped on the first shot, but the rebound came to the left side. Nichols got the rebound and put it in, and the Kings lead again at 4-3.
Bernie Nichols is great at handling the puck, taking a pass, cradling it on the stick, and he just picked up that rebound on the backhand, and with very little net to shoot at, worked it in past the near post. If you had a chance to watch that on our simulcast, he had about the width of the puck to shoot it in, and he put it right there.
And it was bouncing, too. Now McClellan sends it into the Oilers zone. The Kings have never trailed in the game. This is the 4th lead they've had tonight. Let's see if they can hang on to it. 11:10 to go in the game. Puck is back behind the King net. Jay Wells gets knocked down, but he gets up, gets it out to Dion on the right wing. Dion's pass up to center ice to Nichols. He tips it to McClellan. Here's Matt down the left side, but Charlie Honey back to take it away for the Oilers. 4-3 Kings. Dave Taylor with an assist. 8:33 at the time of the goal. Shot from center ice by Honey and a pad save by Janusek. Here's Galley with it. Galley plays it around, trying to get it to Dion. He was held up, and the puck comes all the way down into the Oilers zone.
Nichols from Taylor at 8:33. Nichols 7th and his first 2-goal game of the year. Nichols last year with 46 to tie Dion for the club lead in goals.
Now to center. Oilers, and taking a dive there was McTavish. He didn't get a Academy Award for that. Didn't even get a penalty drawn on it. 10:21 to go in the game. Kings ahead 4-3. Oilers with it. Pass on the left side. Dave Hunter shooting and a save by Janusek. It hit him on the chest and he covered it up.
Well, again, Bob, I hate to belabor the point, but the Oilers are working that puck through center ice, and they're getting open for some, well, they're getting open and getting room to get those shots away. Bob Janusek coming up with the save. This time, Hunter open on the left side. Galley, I think, was trying to come off, and he almost got caught on the line change and then quickly changed directions and hustled back to at least force the shot. Bernie Nichols with the go-ahead goal. The Kings with a lead for the 4th time tonight.
Wayne Gretzky out to take the face-off against the Kings. Bernie Nichols. 10:14 to go in the game, and on the draw in the Kings zone to the right of Janusek. It comes into the corner, chased in by Krujolniski. He's bumped by Redmond. Krujolniski still with it. Redmond trying to take it away. Krujolniski kicks it along behind the net. Janusek out. He sweeps it around the boards. Fogelin intercepts. He's bumped there. Kings with it. Here is Engblom. Engblom up the left side ahead to Nichols. Nichols, nice pass to Taylor. Taylor one man back, Kevin Lowe. Taylor trying to get around Lowe. Taylor had it poke checked off his stick. Oilers with it. Jari Kurri sends it back out to center ice. Now Krujolniski over to Curry. Look out for him. Curry's pass. He goes offside at the King blue line. 9:43 to go in the game. Kings 4, Oilers 3. This game is coming to you live from the fabulous Forum.
Los Angeles Kings hockey is brought to you by Michelin. Michelin, proud sponsor of the Kings. It's also proud of its XH Radial. It's the longest lasting tire you can buy. And by Avis. If you need a spare car, send Avis an SOS and it'll answer with a free day weekend special. 3 days for the price of 2.
Nichols with 2 goals. Anderson with 1 here in the third period. Dion, Taylor, and Nichols twice the goal scorers. 4 goals for the Kings. McTavish, Coffey, and Glenn Anderson for the Oilers. This is the second meeting between these 2 Smythe rivals. They'll meet 6 more times. The Oilers won the previous game 8-5.
Sykes ahead to Redmond. Redmond into the Oilers zone for the Kings. Redmond down the right side. Redmond with a pass in front to Sykes. It was knocked away by Moog before Sykes could get to it. Back come the Oilers now. Down the right side. Here is Gretzky. Sykes got knocked down. Loose puck. And Lowe couldn't hold it. And Sykes got up and cleared it back to center. Now Taylor bumped hard against the boards at center ice right by the visitors' penalty box by Coffey. Puck is at center ice, flipped ahead, and down the right side. Gretzky moving in, pass in front, and Kruzhelnyski was checked by Engblom and couldn't get a shot. Kings come back. Nichols gets it on the right wing now to Paul Gay. Gay into the Oilers zone. Gay looks for help, but the Kings run a line change. Now Doug Smith down the left wing. Smith centers it to Gay, and his shot is just wide on the backhand. Gay right in the slot, shot it wide. This is an entertaining line, Nick, with Tiger Williams, Paul Gay, and Doug Smith. Here's Tiger with it to Doug Smith. He shoots, and a glove save by Moog as Smith shot from the left point. But when they get out, they stir things up.
Well, Tiger stirs it up because he's so smart along the boards, and he can create some open ice for his 2 line mates, and both Smith and Gay have excellent speed, in particular Doug Smith, and when they get moving, they can really put the pressure on. At the other end, the Oilers, Wayne Gretzky knocking down the puck on sides. The Kings defense diving to force Gretzky wide. He centered in front, but Kruzhelnyski just could not reach as he was tied up by Brian Engblom.
Good play by Engblom to tie up his stick, and he couldn't get it down to get the pass from Gretzky. Face off in the Oilers zone now to the left of Andy Moog. 4-3 Kings, 8:36 to go in the game. False face off, and they'll do it again. John Muckler on the right as you join us on television, and Bob McCammon on the left as they look on from behind the bench. Glenn Sather, president, general manager, and coach of the Oilers, is over in Europe, probably looking for another Yari Curry. Ready on the draw now, Doug Smith against Messier. Messier wins the draw in the Oilers zone. Puck comes up now to Glenn Anderson. He tips it out right in front of the Oiler bench. Wells took it away. Wells to Tiger Williams, and Tiger flips it back behind the Oiler net. 8:24 to go in the game. Kings ahead 4-3. At the right point, puck is held in by Gary Galley, taken away by Melnick. Melnick checked in the corner. Now Doug Smith comes over. Melnick digs it out and goes behind the Oiler net. Oilers moving from left to right. Tiger Williams almost intercepted a pass, but now Glenn Anderson with it, and a good play by Doug Smith. He held Messier offside, and the Oilers offside of the King line. We'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Chevy S10 Blazer. Now available at low 8.8% financing. That's an average savings of $1,200. See your Southern California Chevrolet dealer.
4-3, the Kings in front. Bernie Nichols with the 2 goals here in the third period as the Kings now have built a 45-27 shots on goal edge.
Now McClellan sends it into the Oilers zone. 8 minutes to go in the game. 4-3 Kings. They've never trailed tonight. Puck taken by Glenn Anderson. He jumped around McClellan behind the net. Anderson's pass comes all the way back into the Kings zone, and back to get it, Gary Galley. Galley gave it to Dion. Dion sent it to the red line, taken away there by the Oilers. Coffey's pass over to Messier. Messier in the slot, back to the blue line, gives it to Coffey. Coffey at the right point, but he can't hang on to it. Kings with it. Pass up to center ice. McClellan to Dion, but Melnick jumps in front of Dion, and the puck comes into the Oilers zone. Goaltender Andy Moog flips it up in the air, out to center ice. Oilers with it now. Suominen with a shot. Raimo Suominen, he shot it wide. Puck is held in by Glenn Anderson. Over to Suominen. He's bumped against the boards. Puck is picked up in the Kings zone by Redmond. Redmond plays it to Hawkinson. Hop gives it to Dion. Dion gives it to Redmond. Redmond to the red line. Redmond down the left side into the Oilers zone with McClellan. Redmond still with it. Flips it in deep behind the Oiler net, taken away by Lowe. Lowe passing over on the right side to Fogelin. Kings ahead 4-3. 7 minutes to go in the game. Fogelin right side drops it back. Hunter's shot deflects wide. Fogelin with it behind the King net, around in front, tried to jam it in. It's held against the side of the net by Bob Janasek. And a whistle and a face-off coming up. 4-3 Kings. 6:56 to go in the game. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
This is the Prime Ticket Network, where you get exclusive television coverage of the Los Angeles Kings. Exciting NHL action right here on Prime Ticket.
Kings high for shots on goal this season, 46 against Edmonton. Here on October 20th, they have 45. The all-time record is 58.
Now McTavish out to Lowe. Lowe shooting from the left point. It's wide. Rebound. Fogelin tried to hold it in, but it comes loose. Picked up by the Kings. Dean Kennedy ahead now to Sykes. Sykes on the left wing into the Oilers zone. In the slot. Throws it down in the right wing corner. Nichols tried to pick it up. He's looking for the hat trick. He can't get it. Puck comes down in the corner. Sykes bumps into McTavish, and now we have behind the play. Who was it? Taylor?
Well, Taylor was grabbed, I think, by McTavish, and when McTavish grabbed Taylor, Lumley tried to sucker Taylor. Taylor had no chance to defend himself because he was being grabbed from behind, and Lumley took advantage of the situation. I don't think he connected.
Taylor was
the way you do it, guys.
When I saw it, Taylor was being knocked down from behind, as you say, and in came Lumley, and Lumley was throwing a right hand that missed. Now Sykes and Lowe get into a battle. Phil Sykes of the Kings and Kevin Lowe of the Oilers. And everybody paired off now, and Lowe and Sykes still pulling at each other. The linesman now coming in to separate them.
Bob, I looked up. Taylor had his helmet off, and McTavish then grabbed. Now Fogelin is throwing rights at Taylor, and Taylor is helpless. The referee is trying to step in. Taylor is being held up, and Fogelin's got his right hand free. Nothing Dave Taylor can do about it.
Well, you knew that they were going to get back at Taylor sometime, but Fogelin just won't give it up. And if Taylor now gets loose, and now the referee's between Fogelin and Taylor.
Kennedy is manhandling somebody out there, has the jersey over his head, and that's a mismatch. It might be McTavish. I think it is. So everybody is paired off, but again, I looked up. Taylor had his helmet off, and Taylor was glaring in the direction of Lumley. And as Taylor skated over to Lumley, McTavish grabbed Taylor from behind. And as Taylor was falling to the ice with McTavish on top of him, Lumley tried to sucker him with the right hand.
Well, it's 4-3. Kings over the Oilers. We'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
They waited all this time, practiced all these years for this one event. Now we have them all. Lendl, Connors, McEnroe, Noah, all here for the Forum Championship Tennis Challenge. But who will be champion? The Forum Championship Tennis Challenge. Don't miss it. Jimmy Connors battles Yvonne Lendl at round 3 of the Forum Championship Tennis Challenge. Get your tickets at all Ticketmaster outlets or the Forum box office now.
Well, Dave Taylor is in the penalty box. Dave Lumley is in the penalty box from the Edmonton Oilers. Kevin Lowe of fights break out. Sykes, Kevin Lowe.
Kevin Lowe's gone off the ice, Nick. I don't know whether you saw it down there.
They may have picked up misconducts because a lot of the situations, a fight outside of the original altercation, which would have been, I guess, Lumley and Taylor. Anybody else who starts a fight could get a game misconduct. So we'll have to wait and see. Sykes comes over, and Bob Myers is telling him to his face that maybe he's gone for the balance of the game. You want to know what a hockey player wears if you're on our simulcast? Nice set of shoulder pads. Suspenders to hold his pants up.
Dave Taylor over in the penalty box for our
bridge work.
Radio listeners without his jersey on. Now Dave's going to put that number 18 back on his back. But, well, the Oilers, as you said, they just were waiting for this opportunity. And when I looked up, here was McTavish grabbing Taylor from behind, and Lumley just trying to throw a punch as Taylor was getting knocked down. And Lee Fogelin walks over now, and I think he's just been told, Mr. Fogelin, you can go take a shower tonight, I think. I'm not sure. He's coming over to the bench now.
Well, he's the alternate, and I think he's relaying the signals to his coaching staff. Now, Hunter goes over to the box, but I don't know if he is going in. Again, the only two players in the penalty box, Lumley and Taylor. However, Sykes and Lowe have left the ice surface.
And Lee Fogelin going off the ice right now.
Well, this could be a big factor in the outcome of this game should one team get a man advantage out of all this. We only have 6:34 left in the third, and the Kings are holding on to a one-goal lead. It's been a back-and-forth hockey game. The Kings have led on 4 different occasions. 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, and now 4-3. And Brian Lewis conversing with his 2 linesmen as we'll try and pick up the PA feed, because I'm sure we'll get quite a few penalties called here by Brian Lewis. So Fogelin, Lumley, and Lowe for the Oilers are the obvious players that have picked up penalties, and Taylor and Sykes for the Kings. Again, it all started when Dave Taylor and Lumley had words, and McTavish came in, grabbed Taylor, and as Taylor was falling to the ice, Lumley tried to get in a right hand, and it was hard to tell whether or not he caught Taylor at all. But you can't tell me Lumley wasn't playing opportunistic right there.
Well, that's right. Kings, if they could get a win tonight, this would give them a couple of points up on Winnipeg. Winnipeg got beat tonight. The Winnipeg Jets have 13 points in the Smythe division. The Kings are last with 6, so they don't want to get too far behind. So an important game, 6:34 left to go in this game. Some debris out on the ice and a lot of other action around the league tonight, Nick.
Buffalo has defeated Winnipeg. These are all finals now. 7-3. Winnipeg in the Smythe, the loser. Calgary wins at New Jersey 5-2. Detroit winning 4-2 at home against St. Louis. The Islanders nipped Toronto 5-4. The Flyers red hot over the New York Rangers 5-2. Montreal and Minnesota a 3-3 final in overtime. Washington over the Pittsburgh Penguins by a score of 4-1. Here are the calls now.
To number 8, Dave Lumley, 2 minutes for high sticking, 5 minutes for fighting. Number 2, Lee Fogelin, 5 minutes for fighting and a game misconduct. Number 4, Kevin Lowe, 5 minutes for fighting and a game misconduct. Los Angeles penalties to number 18, Dave Taylor, 2 minutes for high sticking, 5 minutes for fighting. Number 7, Phil Sykes, 5 minutes for fighting and a game misconduct. Number 6, Dean Kennedy, 5 minutes for fighting and a game misconduct. Time of the penalties, 13:26.
Well, I'm wondering if they got all the right guys, because Kennedy was paired off with McTavish in that fight, and McTavish doesn't get anything. So everything equals out. 2 minors, 1 to each club, 3 fighting majors to each club. Sykes and Kennedy from the Kings, Fogelin and Lowe from the Oilers, game misconducts. So we will not get a power play situation. The penalties at 13:26.
6:34 left to go in the game. I was going to mention when we gave those final scores that Islander win 5-4. Pat Flatley of the Islanders tonight, 4 goals and 1 assist. We've had our share of penalty minutes here. The Kings 79 minutes in penalties tonight. 89 for the Edmonton Oilers. All right, the Kings have a 4-3 lead on 2 goals by Bernie Nichols here in the third period. And face-off going to be out at center ice right in front of the Oiler bench now. as soon as we get Bernie Nichols back out on the ice. Now he comes out, takes the draw. Kings have it, and Redmond shoots it from center ice into the Oilers zone. Comes around toward the left wing boards, picked up by Gary Curry. Here's Curry with it. 6:24 to go in the game. Kings ahead 4-3. Pass ahead now to Coffey. Coffey's pass over on the left side to Gary Curry. Curry shoots from the left point. It's wide. Rebound off the boards. Out to the right point, held in by Coffey. He sends behind the net to Kruzhelnyski, rolling right out in front. The goaltender Janusek dives for it, and it's held in by the Oilers. Pass to Gretzky, right side. He's checked by Engblom. Puck is still in the King zone, and now it is cleared as McClellan sends it back into the Oilers zone. Back to get it, Charlie Huddy. 5:53 left to go in the game. Kings ahead 4-3. They have never trailed here in their finest performance of the year. Here's Gretzky giving it ahead to Kruzhelnyski down the right side. He sends it out toward the left point. Coffey with it. Coffey shoots wide. Rebound off the boards. Oilers will hold it in. Kruzhelnyski, right point, King zone. His pass along the boards to Curry. Curry to Kruzhelnyski, and now it comes around the boards on the right side to Dion. Dion clears it to center, taken away by Melnick. Oilers with the pressure on now. Melnick gives it to Coffey. Coffey shoots it into the King zone. Back to get it is Engblom. He goes behind the King net, passes up on the right side out of the reach of Dion, and all the way down into the Oilers zone. Back behind the Oiler net, Paul Coffey with it. Kings ahead 4-3. Pass to center ice. Wells takes it away. Gets it to Paul Gay, and Gay flips it up over the glass into the crowd.
Well, they were looking for that breakaway pass, Bob, from deep in their own zone. They were trying to spot an Oiler free at the red line, but Wells did a good job at picking up that loose player. And then Wells left it for Paul Gay, who tried to flip it into the zone, but put it over the glass into the crowd. Now we're down to nail-biting time. 5:01 left. 4-3 the Kings. The Kings have never trailed tonight.
Kings send Doug Smith out at center to take the face-off. He's, of course, out with the right wing Paul Gay. Left side, Tiger Williams. Galley and Wells back in defense, and Doug Smith fires it into the Oilers zone. 4:55 left to go in this game. Kings ahead. Left point. Wells shooting, and a save by Moog. He did the splits and got his stick out. Puck taken by the Oilers. Pass up the center to Messier, out of his reach. He's bumped at center ice by Wells. Puck comes in. Janusek feeds it over to Galley. Galley feeds it up the right side to Gay. Gay checked from behind by Melnick, and then fires it in, but Tiger Williams had gone offside, and that came close to a penalty against Melnick. Gay had a step on him, but the Kings go offside at the Oiler line. 4-3 Kings. This game is coming to you live from the fabulous Forum.
The Prime Ticket Network is your ticket to the greatest sports entertainment around. Not only do you enjoy Kings hockey, but much, much more. For example, the world champion Los Angeles Lakers and indoor soccer's LA Lasers, and much more.
Play underway. Puck is out at center ice. Gary Galley with it for the Kings. Galley with 4:20 to go in the game. Sends it into the Oilers zone. Kings ahead 4-3. Back come the Oilers. Moving left to right. Here's Paul Coffey. Coffey to the red line. Shoots it into the Kings zone. Wide of the net. Janusek stops it. Flips it off the boards up the right side to Gay. Gay clears it up in the air and out to center ice and into the Oilers zone. Charlie Huddy back to get it. 4 minutes to go in the game. Kings ahead 4-3. Oilers back they come to center. Pass to Messier. Messier to the King line. Messier drops it to Glenn Anderson. Pass tipped and just wide. And into the net goes Bob Janusek and Remo Suominen. Suominen was coming right down the middle with a head of steam. Tried to tip it in. Tipped it wide. Couldn't break his speed and went right into Janusek, and they both went into the net. And the whistle blows. 3:50 to go in this game. And the Kings lead it 4-3.
Paul Gay was coming off. Marcel Dion came on the ice of the Kings, and both Dion and Smith went for one of the Oilers just inside their blue line, and that opened up center ice for Mark Messier. You talk so much about positional play, and right there the Oilers found the open man, and Messier was able to work it in.
Now a shot and a stick save by Janusek, and the Kings clear it back down the left side, chased down by McClellan. He tips it into the Oilers zone. Checked there by Melnick. Puck is taken now by Coffey. Here's Coffey to center for the Oilers. They're down by a goal. Pass to McTavish. He's got a man in front, but his pass is wide of Mark Napier. Picked up by Dion, but he can't clear it. Centered in front. Intercepted by Engblom. Clears it back into the Oilers zone. We're going to get an icing call here against the Kings. Larry Melnick back to touch it. Icing called against the Kings. 3:18 to go in the game. Kings lead at 4-3 and a face-off back in the Kings zone. Saturday night here at the Forum, the Montreal Canadiens will be here, and there are tickets available at the Forum box office and all Ticketmaster outlets. Forum box office opens every day at 10 a.m. We'll also have that game for you at 7:15 on the Prime Ticket Television Network, and we'll be on KLAC Radio Saturday night starting at 10 minutes to 7 with our Kings Face-Off talk show, and we invite you to call in and participate. Face-off to the right now of Janusek. Bernie Nichols out to take the draw against Mike Krushelnyski. Wayne Gretzky is lined up on the left wing for the Oilers. Jari Kurri over on the right side. Dave Taylor now going off the ice to the dressing room.
He cannot return. Well, he won't return unless it goes into overtime.
Bernie Nichols walks back to talk to Janusek. Taylor walking down to the dressing room. Boy, he's put in his 100% effort tonight for sure.
This is one time you hope he doesn't return in the hockey game.
Right? Puck is taken now by the Kings as Hawkinson tips it to center. 3:09 to go in the game. Puck is picked up by the Oilers. Back they come. Krushelnyski to Kurri. Broken up by Galley. Over to Hawkinson. He tips it into the Oilers zone, and Coffey back to get it. 2:55 to go in the game. Kings ahead 4-3. Krushelnyski passing to center to Gretzky. If he touches it, Gretzky did get it at the left point. Flipped it in deep, taken away by Galley. He clears it back to center. Oilers back to get it. 2:40 to go in the game. 4-3 Kings. Oilers trying desperately to tie it. Here's Krushelnyski to the King line. Krushelnyski gets around a check from Wells, but his pass came back out to center ice. Taken there by Huddy. Huddy to Kurri. Now to Coffey. Shooting and a save by Janusek off his glove on a hard shot by Coffey. Kings with it. And Wells drives it in on target. Stop made at the other end by Andy Moog. 2:15 to go in the game. Kings 4, Oilers 3. Puck is picked up now by Kurri. Pass to center ice. Taken by Gretzky across the King line. Gretzky checked in, brings it back out to center ice. Checked by Engblom. Now he's got to wait for Krushelnyski to get out. He still has it. His pass broken up by Redmond at center. Redmond checked there. Puck is taken by the Kings again, and Paul Gay slaps it in, and a stop made by Moog. 1:49 to go in the game. 4-3 Kings. Puck is still in the Oilers zone. The fans are rising to their feet, and here's a breakaway by Gretzky all alone. He shoots, he scores! Wayne Gretzky got loose down the left wing. Went to the left side and beat Janusek to tie the game with 1:40 left. The game is tied at 4-4.
Well, the big stars are playing a part in this game tonight. Gretzky picking up the puck, had no one to beat, went in on Janusek. Janusek went down, and Gretzky beat him cleanly. The goaltender made the first move, and that's what the shooter looks for. Engblom tried desperately to get back. Gretzky his 11th at 18:20. We're tied at 4, tied for the 4th time tonight.
Now the Kings at center ice. Gary Galley with it. Galley back to the King line. Flips it up to center ice to Tiger Williams. Williams pass ahead, just went behind Gay at the Oiler line. Chased down by Melnick. Announcing the goal. Wayne Gretzky getting the goal with only 1:40 left to go in the game. And now the puck whistled dead against the right wing boards.
They have not announced any assist, but I think someone shot the puck out to center ice to him. 18:20. Gretzky, number 11. The captain of the Edmonton Oilers. He has a goal and an assist here tonight. The Oilers fighting back.
So it's Gretzky unassisted. When he got the puck, he had a lot of room down the left side. And he deked to the left and beat Janusek to Janusek's stick side. Puck is back behind the Oiler net. We're 1:07 away from going into overtime. Puck is taken by the Oilers and cleared back to the King line, where Jay Wells chases it down. 1 minute to go in regulation. Here's Galley. Galley tried to get it to Dion, tipped away. Nichols back of the King line. Nichols with it. His pass up to Dion at center, broken up by Messier. Messier gets around a check from Galley, but lost the puck. Now sends it in to Gretzky. Gretzky over to Anderson, and a diving save by Janusek. What a pass by Gretzky, and what a save by Janusek. The Kings clear it back into the Oilers' zone. Gretzky with a wraparound pass to Anderson on the right side, and Janusek diving made the save. 25 seconds ago in the game. Messier to Anderson, to Huddy, shoots, saved by Janusek. A glove save, and he hangs on.
Bob, as soon as he made that pass, I looked up. I thought Anderson might have been offsides going into the zone on the right side, but as it turns out, it will not be a factor in the game. But Gretzky with just an outstanding pass, and only an even better save by Bob Janusek prevents the Oilers from stealing this game. Gretzky picking up the puck, knew Anderson was there on the right side, and Janusek dove to his left, made the save, and the rebound was deflected behind the net.
Behind the back pass by Gretzky over to Glenn Anderson, and he put it right on his stick. The Oilers have tied it. They're not the Stanley Cup champions for nothing. They just know, Nick, as some teams do, that they keep battling and they're going to make their breaks, and they have certainly done it here. But take nothing away from the Kings' performance tonight. Coming in here, most people probably figured this would be a blowout because of the way the Kings have been playing and giving up goals, but no way. Kings have never trailed in the game. They have led on 4 occasions, but each time the defending Stanley Cup champion Oilers have come back to tie it 4 times. It's 4-4 now, 20 seconds remaining. The Oilers have just called a timeout, and the faceoff is going to be to the right of Bob Janusek, playing his finest game of the season easily.
This has been the Oilers' best period of the 3, and as you say, they're doing it when it counts.
Oilers with it. Huddy shooting, glove save. Janusek looked like the shot was high, but he's taking no chances of it bouncing off the boards and back out in front.
Well, the faceoff's just very important here, and the Oilers won that cleanly. The Kings have Dion and Nichols out. 2 of their veteran centers. Messier took that last draw, won it back to the point, and Huddy was set up at the top of the slot. Janusek appears to have an equipment problem now with his glove that might have come unstitched, so we have a slight delay. 17 seconds left. Face off deep in the King zone. We're tied up at 4, and again, if the third period ends tied, we'll have a 2-minute break, and then we go into 5 minutes of sudden death overtime. Kings have been there once before this year and lost to the New York Islanders here at home.
Face off to the left of Bob Janusek, and as Nick said, these are very important. The Kings have to control these now to keep the Oilers from getting set up. Bernie Nichols in to take the draw against Mark Messier of the Oilers. Pat Quinn positioning players now. Wells moves over into the slot. Dion is there. Redmond moves over left, and this draw is won by Nichols into Wells. Wells pass taken away by Curry. He centered it, broken up by the Kings. Pass ahead by Nichols to Dion. 7 seconds ago, over to Tiger Williams. He didn't get it. 5 seconds left to go in the game. Nichols with it, couldn't get a shot. We're going to go to overtime. Sudden death overtime. Oh, no.
No commercial.
We'll go to overtime. The game is tied 4-4 as the Oilers tied it with 1:40 remaining on the goal by Wayne Gretzky. So far it is unassisted, his 11th of the season. So in the third period, looked like the Kings, if they could have managed to hang on to that 4-3 lead, could have won the game, but with 1:40 left, Wayne Gretzky gets the goal to tie it at 4.
Recapping the third period, Nichols at 5:04 from Engblom and Redmond. And then Anderson came back from Larry Melnick. The Kings and the Edmonton Oilers in a seesaw affair. Anderson at 5:55, and then Nichols at 8:33, his second of the night. And Gretzky with the heartbreaker thus far for the Kings at 18:20. Wayne Gretzky tying the goal with 1:40 left to play as he was all alone at the red line, picked up the puck, went in, deked onto his forehand. Bob Janusek goes down just a shade too early, and Gretzky beats the Kings goaltender for his 11th goal of the season and his 32nd point. He has 11 goals and 21 assists, 32 points in 13 games. Bob Janusek moments later then saved the tie as Gretzky set up Glenn Anderson, And again, Janusek just diving to his left, got a piece of it, perhaps with his left hand, perhaps with the glove, but he made the save. That's all that counts. And the great one with a great pass to Speedy Glenn Anderson, who sprung himself open on the right wing. Both clubs will defend the same goals that they defended in the third period. So Janusek will set up to our right and Andy Moog to our left. The shots on goal in that third period for the Kings, 12, a total of 48, and for the Oilers, 13, a total of 32. The Oilers' best period of the three thus far.
Nick, they have now on the shot scoreboard changed the King total to 47. So let's see if we can get the official shot total here. It is 47 shots for the Kings for the regulation.
11 in the third period, not 12.
5 minutes sudden death overtime as the teams line up. If one team scores, they win it. If neither team scores in 5 minutes, it ends in a tie.
In overtimes, the Kings are 0-1. They have no ties in the season. The Oilers going to overtime for the first time this year. This is their 13th game.
Teams will keep going the same way, and off the draw, the puck taken at center ice by the Kings' Tiger Williams. Williams flips it up in the air into the Oilers zone, chased down by Paul Coffey. Coffey stops there. Game is tied 4-4. First team to score will win it. Here is Wells giving it at center ice now to Paul Gay. Gay backhands it into the Oilers zone. Broken up there, taken by the Oilers, and Charlie Huddy's pass to the King line, intercepted by Galley. Galley's pass hit the linesman Ryan Bozak, picked up by Paul Gay. Gay did clear it, and when the Oilers brought it back, offside is called. 4:31 left to go in sudden death. Dave Taylor has served his time. He's back out of the penalty box, coming over to the King bench, and Dave Lumley coming over to the bench for the Edmonton Oilers. Face-off will be outside the King line. Wayne Gretzky comes out onto the ice. Gretzky with a goal and an assist tonight, and his goal came with only 1:40 remaining. After in the third period, Nichols had 2 goals and Anderson countered for the Oilers. Kings had a 4-3 lead, and then Wayne Gretzky tied it. Now the Oilers send it down the right side into the Kings zone. Larry Melnick, he is stopped there by Engblom. Puck comes in deep. Janusek leaves it on the left side for Redmond. Redmond plays it up the left side to Hawkinson. Now to Nichols. Bernie with 2 goals tonight drops it off to Taylor. Right side. He fanned on his shot. Now he drives it wide. He got checked from behind when he went to shoot. Puck is picked up in the Oilers zone by Yari Curry. Curry's pass up ahead now to Coffey. Coffey to the King line. Poke checked away by Redmond. Out to Taylor at center ice. Now it comes to Yari Curry. Hawkinson chases him. Can't get it. 3:55 to go in overtime. Kings break it up. Taylor at center ice. Intercepts a pass and shoots it into the Oilers zone. Kings changing on the fly. McClellan's out. Dion comes out. Brian Wilkes comes on. 4-4 tie. Sudden death overtime. 3:43 left to go in sudden death. Oilers, Larry Melnick sends it into the Kings zone. Redmond with it, plays it to McClellan on the left wing. Kings moving right to left. McClellan up to Dion, and an offside 2-line pass called against the Kings. Just barely. Dion just took it on the other side of the center red line.
Well, his stick was on the Kings side of the red line, but it's the position of the player's skates that determines offsides passes, and both skates of Marcel Dion over the red line. And I think that might be what the linesman Ryan Bozak is explaining to Brian Engblom. 3:33 left in overtime. We're tied up at 4. No shots on goal yet here in the extra session.
Face-off just inside the King blue line. Brian Wilkes wins the draw from McTavish. Galley gives it to McClellan. Here's Mack at center ice. Flips it to the Oiler line, but it's knocked down there. Cleared back to the King line where Galley had it, but he gets checked. Galley in the King zone, gives it to McClellan. McClellan against the left wing boards, plays it off the boards out to center ice. Broken up by Dave Hunter. Now taken by McClellan again. Here's Mack down the left wing into the Oilers zone. McClellan tried to jump around Charlie Huddy and couldn't do it. Oilers come back, pass to center, tipped away by Dion. Picked up by Larry Melnick. Melnick's pass. Now down the left side, McTavish. McTavish looks in front for Napier, but Jay Wells checks McTavish. Now Wells behind the King net, chased by Napier. Wells around the right side. side. Wells flips it up to center ice, up in the air. 2:49 to go in sudden death. Game tied 4-4. Huddy for the Oilers. His pass into the Kings zone. Going to be icing if the Kings get to it, but they do not. Taken to the left side by Hunter. He's checked by Galley. Now the puck comes loose to Paul Gay of the Kings. Here's Gay with Tiger Williams. Tried to give it to Tiger at center ice. He didn't get it. And we're going to get an icing call against the Kings now as Huddy touches it for the Oilers. Icing against the Kings. 2:29 left in sudden death. And a face-off now back in the Kings zone. It'll be to the right of goaltender Bob Janicek.
The fans and Tiger Williams reacting. I think they thought that one of the Oilers could have played that puck. And again, a key face-off deep in the Kings zone. The Oilers won a couple of these late in the third period, especially when they set up Huddy. Messier is out there. The converted left winger, his second full year at center ice, and he's very strong, and he's done a pretty good job on the draw.
Bernie Nichols on the draw, but the puck comes loose and is taken by Raimo Suominen, left wing side. Suominen sends it behind the net. Pass back in front, intercepted nicely by Bernie Nichols. Good play by Nichols. He anticipated the pass. Puck comes back to the Oiler line. Intercepted there by Coffey. Coffey looks it high in the air and offside. Glenn Anderson in the Kings zone. 2:11 to go. Sudden death overtime. Kings 4, Oilers 4. King goals 2 by Nichols, 1 by Dion, and 1 by Taylor tonight.
Glenn Anderson, the speedy right winger, plays with reckless abandon, and as we mentioned in our interview earlier tonight, seems like every game he goes barreling into the end boards or into the goal post, but he's had a pretty injury-free career thus far.
Face-off out at center ice, and the Kings win the draw. Nichols to Galley. Galley sends it into the Oilers zone, right toward the net. Stop made by Andy Moog. Back behind the net, Paul Coffey. 2 minutes left to go in the sudden death overtime. Game tied 4-4. First team to score will win. Long pass up to center. Chased down, but Anderson, if he touches, is going to be a two-line pass, and they finally whistle it down. So they'll bring it back into the Oilers zone to face off. The face-off is at the point of the pass, and of course the two-line pass means across the Oiler blue line and the center red line, and then one of the Oilers touched it.
Well, we've seen it many times, especially late in this game. The Oilers trying to spring one of their forwards open on breakaways at the red line, catching the Kings a bit napping. They have that long breakout pass. They do it well, killing penalties. They've led the NHL in short-handed goals the last couple of years, and well, the Gretzky goal, which right now is the tying goal, happened just that way. They broke him free at the red line behind everybody else, and he went right in on Bob Janicek.
The puck came loose to Gretzky at center ice, and he picked it up. It was an unassisted goal. Puck is held in now by Redmond to the Oiler line. He drives it in behind the net. Moog flips it into the corner. Hawkinson intercepts, gives it behind the net again. Now Taylor battles for it there. Puck is loose. Gretzky comes back behind the net, and it's held against the boards by Taylor, Gretzky, and Larry Melnick. Now the face-off in the Oilers zone, and it'll be to the right of Andy Moog. And now another important face-off here from the Kings' viewpoint. If they can win the draw, get a shot, or at least keep it in the Oilers zone and set it up. 1:39 to go in sudden death overtime. Bob Miller with Nick Nixon. Hope you've enjoyed it tonight. It's been a very entertaining game.
Again, the veterans, a lot of the veterans playing some of their best hockey of the young season. Taylor in particular, just a dogged game.
Kings win the draw. Engblom left point, shoots, and it's just deflected wide as Hawkinson was in front of the net. Puck is picked up by the Oilers, cleared out to center ice, taken away by Engblom. He flips it back to Taylor. Taylor tips it in the Oilers zone. Now taken right side. Hawkinson shoots, just deflected wide. Picked up on the left wing side by Nichols. Nichols gives it to Taylor behind the Oiler net. Taylor checked there. Taylor battles for it, sent it out in front. Hawkinson knocked down. Puck comes over to Gretzky. 1:13 to go in the game. Here's Gretzky to center. Gretzky down the left wing. Passes on the right wing to Yari Curry. Curry drops it to Coffey. Coffey drives it wide left side. Taylor and Gretzky go for it against the left wing boards. Now Curry centers it. Broken up. 1 minute to go in overtime. Kings come back. Here's Nichols with McClellan. Nichols down the right side. Oilers zone. He shoots and a save. Rebound. Hopped over the stick of McClellan. Held in by the Kings. Dion, but taken away now by Coffey. Coffey to Curry of the red line. 45 seconds to go in overtime. Curry's pass offside. Oilers at the King line. 43 seconds to go in overtime.
Well, the Kings worked it back to Brian Engblom, and Engblom with the best scoring chance really for either team. Let the drive go, and Hawkinson out there quite a bit here in overtime. He's really been skating, and I think Pat Quinn has him out there for his skating ability so he can do some good close checking, but Hawk almost bought himself the game winner. He got a piece of it, but deflected it wide to the right.
Nick will be downstairs interviewing a player of the game right after our overtime ends here on our post-game show. Face-off right outside the King blue line, right in front of the King bench. Bernie Nichols ready to take the draw. He's got Dion on his right side, McClellan on the left. Galley and Wells back. McTavish against Nichols on the draw, or against Wilkes, I'm sorry. Wilkes wins the draw. Now it comes up to McClellan right in front of the King bench. Galley trying to dig it free. And look out, McClellan gets his stick up with Glenn Anderson. And everybody jumps in and calms people down. 35 seconds to go in sudden death overtime. The Kings had a 4-3 lead in the game, and Wayne Gretzky tied it with an unassisted goal with 1:40 remaining in regulation.
I think we're going to get penalties to both McClellan and Glenn Anderson at 4:25 of overtime. Just 35 seconds left. Looked like they met along the near boards and got the sticks up a little high. And Mack goes to the penalty box. The biggest King at 6'3", 215. He goes for high sticking. The fans booing, but Anderson is going to go off as well. So it will remain a 5-on-5 skating situation.
Number 9, Glenn Anderson. Los Angeles penalty to number 27, Brian McClellan. 2 minutes each for high sticking. And the penalty, 4:25.
So they will now go to the dressing room. Not time enough to serve the penalty. 35 seconds remaining in the sudden death overtime.
Brian McClellan, 2 minutes each for high sticking.
Kings home here Saturday night, and then the homestand continues next Wednesday. The Detroit Red Wings will be here a week from this Saturday. Terry Ruskowski, Bob Barry, and the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the homestand will conclude on Tuesday, November 19th, against the New Jersey Devils. Tickets for all those games are available in advance at the Forum box office and all Ticketmaster outlets.
Wayne Gretzky, 48 game-winning goals. Well, I can't say that he had 48 game-winning goals last year. Perhaps in his career. I don't think the Oilers won 48 games last year.
Ready to go on the face-off outside the blue line of the Kings. Dion will take the draw against Messier. 35 seconds left to go in sudden death overtime. And on the draw, puck is flipped against the boards in front of the King bench, taken now by Jay Wells. Wells sends it into the Oilers zone. Down in the corner, Messier back to get it. 25 seconds to go in the game. Into the corner, Dion kicks it to Taylor. Taylor shoots, and it's deflected wide of net. Dion, his pass out to the left point. Jay Wells with it. He shoots, safe, rebound. Taylor to Williams, and no goal. Dion had his stick in the air, but there's a pileup in front of the net. It never did go in. Dion thought it did. He had his hands up. Oh, the Kings came close to winning it with 12 seconds remaining. But in a pileup in front of the Oiler net, Andy Moog, Charlie Huddy, Paul Coffey all managed to keep it out of the Oiler net.
Well, Dave Taylor started that flurry. He had a great chance just to the right of the net, and I believe Paul Coffey blocked it with his skates. But then a pass came free out on the left point to Jay Wells, and Wells, who has picked up 3 goals in his last 2 games, let the shot go, and it was deflected in front, and Dion thought it went in. But again, Brian Lewis, an excellent position to make the call. He was right there at the goal line, then moved behind the net for a better view, and all we get is a face-off as the whistle stops play with 12 seconds left.
Face-off in the Oilers zone to the right of goaltender Andy Moog. The Kings have Dion, Williams, Taylor, Wells, and Redmond out. 12 seconds left. Kings trying to win the draw, get a shot, maybe a rebound, maybe win the game in the closing seconds. Here we go. Dion ready on the draw now against Messier. Loose puck. Who's got it? Dion with it up the middle. Tiger Williams shoots. Blocked on the way in. Picked up by Gretzky. 5 seconds to go in the game. Gretzky waits behind his net. 2 seconds. It's going to be over. It ends in a 4-4 tie. The Kings and the Edmonton Oilers end here tonight in a 4-4 tie. And coming up, we'll have an interview with our player of the game as the game ends 4-4. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Bye.